I will start off my discussions with Irfan Saab. And I think Irfan Saab, it will be very interesting for me to first share my own perspectives of what banking industry has seen in 2018. So we've got a number of Hawala's accounts. We have got number of Wala's accounts. So you've got Chai Wala, Coffee Wala, Faluda Wala, and then we've got a number of drivers and a number of cooks declaring money. So we've got one situation like that. Then we've got a number of stringent punitive regimes. We've got a number of regulatory enforcements and impositions, trade-based money laundering. Then we have got hanging swords on our head of APG and FATF. And then we've got rising expectations from the correspondent banks. So with all this in 2018, which is just about to end, my first question to you would be, how do you see 2019 happening for the banking industry? Do you think that these trends are going to continue, or you think that there's going to be some improvement in the challenges for the banking industry? And my second question would be about the strategies that the institutions should be having in place in terms of assessing possible future impacts in terms of the business outlook. And how do you think the institutions should be able to have a progressive posture without causing any undue distress to the franchise value? So please, thank you very much.
Right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Is it me? So on, but I don't know. Yeah.
Let me.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Regarding how 2019 will be compared to 2018, I think we should not really look at two annual events. I think tomorrow is more challenging than today, and so on and so forth. Every day we face new challenges these days. How we equip ourselves. In fact, 2 weeks ago, some of you were here. The head of Karachi police came and gave a talk in this hall, and he said that one of the main objective they have as police is to make sure that the traffic keep moving, right? So if the traffic is not moving, then there are problems of crimes and all these things. And one of the reasons why traffic doesn't move fast is because there's one truck, one trawler, one container, it gets stuck on a bridge, and other people can go around that. So he said that when we get those regulations, which is called an MOT, which you see in other countries, then all these trucks will go out of business. All the old trucks, so you won't find old cars in the city, then you will have new cars and you will have less problem. So really banking is also similar issue. I mean, we need to keep our models current. We need to invest in our technology, invest in software, knowledge base and all these things in order to make sure that the bank keep going. Our customers get a highway which is free of roadblocks, so to say. तो वो बहुत ज़रूरी है कि बैंक का जो mindset है वो ये हो कि भाई हमें business भी करना है. At the same time we need to obviously make sure that the compliances are there. Irfan Ali Saab is sitting here. A lot of time we blame the State Bank of Pakistan or any other regulator, saying यार ये क्या मुश्किल है, काम करें या इनकी बात सुनें. But the problem is that the legislation outside from the international watchdogs, whether it's Federal Reserve Bank or the FATF, is so stringent for the country to follow that obviously when the country has to follow, then individual components of that unit have to follow. So as far as we are concerned, if State Bank has to follow, then all the banks have to follow that as well. So the first thing I think is that people should really own it wholeheartedly. That if we don't do it, then we are doomed for trouble. Just last week, on a single day, 3 major correspondent banks were present in Pakistan: JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank and Citibank, from their compliance team, all on the same day. All their compliance heads were here, worried about that our correspondent arrangement with Pakistan, is it safe for us to do or not. You see, if they make very small amount of money from any particular business, they probably, if they don't feel we are compliant, they will say rather, not do this business rather than facing a bad publicity and penalty, which doesn't start less than $1 billion these days. I think $1 billion become like a benchmark. Society General, I think 2-3 days ago, was faced with the penalty of $1.3 billion for for the transactions which they did back in 2003 to 2010, not recent. तो उसको जाके अब खुलेदा जा रहा है. So really, I think life has become difficult, but obviously at the same time we need to see that we have to run the bank with all those difficulties. वो जो बात होती है ना कि if you're playing football, if there is no goalkeeper, then there is no fun in making a goal as well. So banking is also the same. I mean, with all those constraints, you have to make sure that you still operate. You will have accidents, minor accidents. So कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं होते ही रहते हैं रोज. But on a macro level, you need to see that we keep going. Meezan Bank acquired HSBC 4 years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago. It was an excellent franchise. Some of our ex-HSBC who are now Meezan Bank colleagues are here. And it was a beautiful franchise, profit-making franchise. The only reason they exited Pakistan was because they felt that the cost of compliance for a 4-branch operation of HSBC or 10-branch operation of HSBC was not worth their effort. So they exited Pakistan. Similarly, I think we should think about why UBL exited from New York, right? मैं फराज को यही कह रहा था कि अगर आज हमें दिल चाहें कि भाई न्यूयॉर्क में मीज़ान बैंक should have an operation, it will be a toll of more than $100 million or $200 million, which we would not be able to even think of. So that valuable license, why a Pakistani bank is surrendering is because they feel that the cost of compliance outweighs the benefit which they get from that license. So there will always be that trade-off as to what you do versus the cost which you incur on that. So I think we need to keep ourselves abreast of all those costs and implication of that and be very vigilant. And in my view, your starting point is account opening. Account opening के वक्त अगर हम बह गए उसमें कि भाई account तो खोलना है because there are targets and there are these, and you open a bad account, then you will never be able to track that bank account and do something with it. I remember, a lot of time my colleagues, friends, acquaintances would call and say that यार वो उसका account नहीं खुल पा रहा है, please help to get that account open. Normally I would call the head of operations and he would say कि हाँ देख लिया, खोल दिया, account खुल गया. One day I got a call from our chairman saying that this guy is not being able to open an account, so Irfan, please help him make sure that his account is open. So I told our head of operations. Our head of operations came back to me and he said that मर भी जाऊंगा तो account नहीं खोलूंगा. I will not open the account. Period. So I said, यार, but the chairman sahab is asking that. He said, it doesn't matter who's asking, but we will not open that account. So that was I appreciated that comment from him. I mean, the chief executive asking head of operation ki yaar account khol do because the chairman is insisting, and he said I would not open the account. So I told this to chairman, and his response was that I would write you a guarantee, whatever you want, I'll sign that piece of paper, but please open that account because he is a very close friend of my brother, so he knows him very well. We didn't open the account, right? तो वो level होना चाहिए आपको confidence का that even your board or the chairman is saying fine, he will not do anything against the interest of your own bank. So once you explain it to him, you have to take that stand. But if you open the account and tomorrow somebody come from abroad and say कि यार ये तो आपने गलत कर दिए and now your license is under dilemma, then why face that consequences? So I think we need to be brave in saying no to a lot of transactions, whether it's a lending transaction, deposit transactions. I remember once we were asked to take a lot of deposit from a customer, a huge amount of money. And obviously branch के तो मुंह में पानी आ जाता है ना. I mean, our compliance said no, and we didn't take that money. तो वो generally, what I see is that down the line our people don't understand that if you're not taking money, what is the risk in that? वो तो पैसे जमा करा रहा है ना. He's not asking you to give money. But I think we need to do that, and obviously, there has to be a balance between business and compliance. You can't ignore one at the cost of other. दोनों को आपके साथ चलाना पड़ता है. This really juggling the two things.
Thank you very much, Irfan Sahab.